if you're in the US today, and if you're in Taiwan yesterday, November 24th, it's going to include New Game Plus, which obviously we know that you can go through, play the game again, and you're going to be able to start with all the things that you've unlocked from the previous game. So you don't have to go through and be like, okay, now I have to rush over to go over here if I want to get the 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙦, or I have to run over here if I want to get the 𝙬𝙪𝙦. You can just start with everything, which is going to be fantastic. You can start with all your guns and everything too, which is wonderful. But not only can you start the game over, they're going to add 2 new trophies, which I'm sure one is just completing New Game Plus, and I'm not sure what the other one is. Probably getting your first Ghost Flower. We'll get into those in a second. And they're going to get some new cosmetics, so you're getting a lot of new masks. It says over 30 plus new cosmetics. So that's a bunch of masks, a bunch of hats. I'm really excited about this. There were several times where I'm like, I really like this hat, but I wish it came in a different color. So looking forward to that, because it does look like many of those are going to be new colors on things that we already have. That also says that we're getting new armor sets, so I'm not sure if we're getting like an entire new armor set with new stats and everything. If we do, absolutely fantastic. Super excited. I would love to see that. Very curious as to what it's going to be. But also, your old armor stats, the ones that you already have, are going to have 1 extra node to unlock. So you can upgrade all your armor by 1 additional point, which is great because that's going to make all their abilities even stronger than they were before. So if you're using stealth armor, you're going to get stealthy. If you're using the defensive armor, you're going to be even beefier. So that's really cool. Really looking forward to that. There's also 10 new charms. No idea what they do. Need to get into the game and find that out. But the charms are little like accessories that you can equip, and they'll give you little bonuses. Like if you get a headshot on an enemy, it has a high chance of terrifying enemies in the area. Or it'll allow you to kind of shoot your bow faster, or makes you slightly stealthier, that sort of thing, or healing on kills, that sort of thing. So 10 new of those. Super excited. But all of this is going to be able to be bought with Ghost Flowers. Now, Ghost Flowers were something that was also added into Ghost of Tsushima in its New Game Plus. And what they are is basically when you go through and you complete a mission, or recomplete a mission, so if you have, that could be a side quest or it could be a main quest, but when you complete it, you'll be rewarded with Ghost Flowers. And these Ghost Flowers can then be turned in for these new accessories or charms or whatever. So yeah, it encourages you to go back and redo all that old content. But part of the reason that I'm really excited about this is because when they did this to Ghost of Tsushima, some of those actually carried over into cosmetics for Ghost of Tsushima Legends. So there were certain masks and stuff like that that you could equip on your Legends, and the way to unlock them was to unlock them in the original game. So I'm really looking forward to that, because Legends is not out yet. It is coming out sometime in 2026, so sometime next year, but we're not quite sure when. Being able to unlock all these masks and stuff, that's going to mean that I'm going to have more stuff to customize my character once Legends does release, which I'm also very excited about. So of course I want to complete this as soon as possible. But that's not the only update that's coming. There's also going to be a few things in the regular game. For example, they're going to make certain missions or content replayable in the post-game. So for example, maybe you cleared out a village and you had fun with that and you want to redo it, but you don't want to have to replay the entire game. You're just going to be able to replay that one mission of clearing out that village. So that's going to be really interesting and really great for people that are at the end game. One thing that when I finished the game and I was going for my platinum, one of the trophies I didn't have was to use the pistol kill in a standoff. And I had been going about it all wrong, because I was using the armor that gave me an extra kill on the standoff, and so I would usually clear out everybody. But I needed to not be using that armor, because then the last kill would have been with the pistol. But it was just so hard to find people to do standoffs with, because I cleared everything on the map. So I just had to run around for a really long time and find a group. Now it would be easy, because you can just say, I'm going to replay this mission and do a standoff right from the beginning. So that is absolutely great, because a lot of those combat trophies are kind of hard to do if you don't do them earlier. They're also adding button mapping, which is great. I mean, I don't have any problem with the way the buttons are now. I'm used to them. But if you're somebody who's just coming into it, I know a lot of games, people like to have their light attack on the R1 and their heavy attack on R2. I believe a lot of the Soulsborne games, I believe, use that kind of format. There were some other, I think maybe Dragon's Dogma used that format. So quite a few games, or maybe not Dragon's Dogma, but quite a few games do use it on the shoulder buttons these days. So if you're used to that, going back to square and triangle might be a bit difficult. So button mapping is great. They're also adding some new photo mode features. I don't use photo mode, but you know, they're adding it, so they're adding shutter speed and a composition grid and some new filters for it. So that's really exciting. So yeah, that is basically all we know for New Game Plus. Again, I am really looking forward to Legends. We don't know when that's coming out. We don't even really know what the classes are. I'm assuming they're going to be the same. I'm assuming they're going to be Samurai, Ronin, Hunter, and Assassin, but we don't actually know that. I'm also curious as to whether weapons are going to be class locked or if anybody can equip anything in Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Since Jin only did stances with his weapon, you know, everybody was equipping a katana, but different katanas were locked to different stances. Some of them might have 2 stances. Most of them only had 1. There was a legendary one that did unlock all 4 stances. So I'm kind of curious as to whether they're going to say, like, okay, Samurai can equip the katana and the 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙦, and the Ronin can do katana and dual katana, and Hunter can do Yari. You know, I'm curious if they're going to use class locked weapons or if they're just going to say, like, nope, anybody can equip anything. So really curious there. But yeah, looking forward to all of it. And once I am done with Once Upon a Katamari, I will be going back into Ghosts of Yotei to clear New Game Plus.